Most of us live with a quiet ache, the persistent sense that, despite our best efforts, something essential is missing. Our culture encourages us to treat this feeling like a mechanical failure. We view painful memories and difficult emotions as flaws to be managed, suppressed, or fixed. This creates an endless loop of striving. The very act of trying to correct our internal state deepens the sense of brokenness we want to escape. When we treat the psyche as a problem to be solved, we lose touch with the wholeness that already exists beneath the noise of our self-improvement projects. To understand why we feel divided, we have to look at how we survive trauma. Fragmentation is a survival adaptation, where the psyche scatters itself to endure a loss that feels too vast to absorb in the moment. We exile the parts of ourselves that hold the pain. We push away the anger, hide the vulnerability, or silence the grief to keep moving forward. These exiled parts remain physically trapped in the body. They stay lodged within the nervous system as unresolved energy. Long after the original threat has passed, these fragments broadcast outdated survival scripts, whispering, "You must stay hidden," or "the world is unsafe." This internal conflict leads to chronic exhaustion. We spend our lives fighting our own protective mechanisms, leaving us constantly on edge. Integration begins when we stop treating our internal currents as defects. Difficult emotions function as messengers. They are part of an ancient biological radar tuned to connection, safety, and resonance. When we translate these signals, we see their intelligence. Anger acts as the fire of boundary protection. Sorrow serves as a bridge to unexpressed love. Anxiety operates as a radar seeking safety. This intelligence is part of a symbolic inner architecture built on universal human patterns that move beneath our conscious thoughts. Carl Jung identified these patterns as the collective unconscious, the shared psychological structures and symbols that all humans inherit across time. Feeling deeply is an act of participation. It is the way your system guides you back toward coherence. Inner alchemy is the intentional process of transmuting these experiences. It involves bringing adult awareness into conversation with the parts of us that have been in exile. The first step is to pause and notice. When shame or a defensive outburst rises, you freeze the reflex to suppress it. You acknowledge that an old protective loop has been triggered. Then you listen to the messenger. Ask the emotion what it needs you to hear. This shifts your relationship from one of judgment to one of curiosity. Finally, you reframe the frequency. You consciously move from the desperate need to control your feelings to a grounded acceptance of the present reality. By turning toward the pain instead of recoiling, you interrupt the cycle of avoidance and invite your fragmented pieces back into the circle of yourself. This process leads to coherence. You no longer have to expend energy keeping your history hidden from yourself. You move from reactivity, the automatic shutdown that happens when you're triggered, to resonance. Resonance is the capacity to stay open and steady, even in the middle of intensity. This practice creates a physiological shift. When you choose to feel a trigger without the reflexive brace of the body, you send a signal of safety to your nervous system. Over time, these repeated signals of safety rewire the neural pathways that once prioritized defense, allowing the body to settle into a new, smoother rhythm. This internal steadiness alters how you connect with the world. You can listen without losing your center and meet conflict with clarity. Healing is not the erasure of your history, it is the integration of it. We can think of this as metabolizing the past. The trauma that once felt like a poison is broken down into compost, providing the specific nutrients needed for new growth. Your scars and shadow parts provide the raw materials for an authentic life. They are the signatures of your story. The emotional storms you spent your life fearing are signals that your psyche is recalibrating to a wider level of connection. You are not a machine to be perfected. You are a living intelligence, and your only task is to welcome all of yourself home.